Now we're unmuted.
Now we're unmuted. All right, how we doing, people? Welcome to Takeo After Dark, Part 9 for the spring of 2025. I got the year right. Very good. Spring of 2025. John Barber here, along with Dave Holdorf, and Jason Cox. How we doing? They're both they're on either side of me. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you with us. For part number 9, and let's just jump right into this. Part 9, domestic hot water recirculation done right for Takeo After Dark. You see Bruce Campbell, our patron saint, and if you haven't already guessed, we're changing up the power trio thing a little bit tonight, because if you're a music fan, it's not been a fun week at all. If you didn't hear the news today, we lost Brian Wilson, the leader and genius behind the Beach Boys and one of the greatest songwriters of all time. He passed away today at the age of 82, and yeah, one of my personal favorites, and just an amazing talent and amazing life story. And over the weekend, you saw we lost Sly Stone of Sly and the Family Stone, another rock and roll Hall of Famer, and just another incredible talent. And hey, you gotta pay respects to the folks that made a difference in this world, and both of those guys made a hell of a difference in the world of music. So Godspeed to both of those great entertainers and great talents. So for tonight, we're just going to pick up some good vibrations. You up for some good vibrations, Dave?
Sure.
Dave's up
Just
for some.
not out of our pumps though.
No, not of our no vibrations out of the Takeo circulators, but we got some good vibrations. And Dave, Jason,
Yes,
you ready to dance to the music?
let's dance.
Get up and
Let's
get
dance.
him.
No, I'm
Show
not
some
gonna
sense.
dance.
No.
No.
Well, before you
We don't
get
want to
there,
lose viewers.
before you really kick it off, JB, we just got to make sure, one, everybody can hear us.
That's right.
2, let us know where you're calling from, right? Where you're watching us from tonight, and what have you been up to over the last week? So just jump that in there. James Winslow was the first one in,
Lincoln Park.
out of Michigan, so excellent. And Jersey hearing us just fine. Dave, I got you, brother. Dave, like I said, I haven't been home yet, so if I did not ship it yet, the last time I did the class here was May 7th.
Wow.
And that was the last time I got a shipment out. So I have not been home much in the last month and a half. So anybody that's won something in the past, a couple of classes, next week I will be home
They're coming.
for a couple days.
It's coming.
For a couple days.
We've heard this story before. It'll be a very Takeo Christmas. Let's put it that way. That's Jason.
I can't wait that long. I am not waiting that long.
All righty. Well, hey, listen, we're going to stop and think for a minute about domestic hot water recirculation as we get into this into this topic. But real quick though, guys, how many of you out there do install domestic hot water recirculation systems? Let's take a quick poll. Just chime in a yay or nay if you do install domestic hot water recirculation pumps for your customers. If that's part of your business, is that something you do? So chime in if you would. And part 2 of that question, I guess, is what are we trying to accomplish with domestic hot water recirculation? What is our ultimate goal? Because that's why we got to stop and think for a minute. We talk to so many people, and we particularly see this with engineers, especially. They kind of get the wrong idea of what we're trying to do with domestic hot water recirculation. So it's really be good for us to stop and think for a minute. What does domestic hot water recirculation really do? What's this purpose? What's the point? All right. By and large, it's this. We want to speed up hot water delivery and reduce waiting. Now, so often we hear from a lot of different folks that they think it does other things too. It does reduce water waste. If we're not running cold water waiting for the hot water to come, well, we're not wasting that hot water down the drain, right? So it does reduce water waste, but that's kind of about it. Speeds up the delivery, reduces water waste in general. We've talked, we actually, this happens a lot with engineers, is engineers will tell us, well, you have to, the domestic hot water recirculation pump has to be sized to service all of the fixture units in a structure. No, it doesn't. That's absolutely false. It does not have to do that. That's what your booster pump is for. That's what your street pressure is for. That's what your pipe sizing is all about. Domestic hot water recirculation does none of that. all the domestic hot water recirculation system is trying to do, it's just trying to keep the hot water line primed with hot water. That's it. Keep it primed with hot water to minimize the weight and minimize the waste. Doesn't do anything else. It's not there to boost pressure. It's not there to give you, more water out of a fixture, and it's not there to, you don't have to have enough flow to service all of the fixtures. Because I got an engineer to think about it once. I said, all right, let's imagine if you took this domestic hot water recirculation pump out, would the fixtures not get any water? And he had to think for a minute. He goes, no, of course they would. And I just had to look at him and smile until he understood, until he figured it out. He said, yes, that's right. It doesn't have to do that. It just has to keep that line primed. So that's kind of the most important element of understanding what domestic hot water is trying to do, or domestic hot water recirculation. What we're trying to accomplish is to keep that hot water line primed with hot water, not let it go cold or tepid, and speed up the delivery in a way that when I turn on a fixture, I don't have to wait 10, 12, 20 seconds or whatever to get hot water. It's going to be there almost instantly, Now, that said, when we talk about domestic hot water recirculation, or a circulator running hot water through the system and through the water heater, we have a fundamental truth that we have to understand, and that is the water heater is going to work harder. When you keep flow going through a water heater, whether it's an indirect or a tank type water heater, the water heater is going to work harder. And if it's a tankless type water heater, the water heater is going to die an early death, because flow turns those things on, and that thing's going to be going on, off, on, off, on, off, and we're going to kill it dead pretty quick. So when we have domestic hot water recirculation, the water heater works harder. That's a fundamental truth. And that's no matter how you control the pump. Now, you can control the pump in a bunch of different ways. Some ways affect the water heater far more detrimentally. Is that right? Is that the word?
Yeah, I think detrimentally.
Or have a more of a detrimental impact on the water heater than others, but none of them have a good impact on the water heater. Okay, the water heater, no matter how you control the domestic hot water recirculation pump, it's going to affect the water heater. If you get into heat pump water heaters or hybrid type water heaters, the impact's going to be even greater. So the heat pump water heater people have some very important guidelines on that as well. So whether the flow is constant, whether it's timed, or whether you use something like a smart plug, it all has an impact. All of these things will make the water heater work harder. So we do save water, but do we in fact save money? That's one of the myths of domestic hot water recirculation. Two people ask, well, what's my payback? I put this in, I'm not going to be wasting all this water down the drain. What's my payback? What's my payback? And there isn't one.
It's not an investment, right?
No, man, it's not an investment. The thing is, when you install almost any domestic hot water recirculation system, meaning pump and control, it's going to cost more than waiting and wasting. Cost more. What do I mean by that? It means the electricity to run the pump, combined with the additional wear and tear and fuel usage at the water heater. In almost every instance, that's going to outweigh, the costs associated there are going to outweigh the costs that you save by not wasting water down the drain while you're waiting. That's an important thing to understand too. What we're talking about here more than anything is a convenience service, as well as an ecological one, where we simply are not wasting water down the drain. And a lot of people, you get customers that'll go for either one, but that's really what we're talking about. Saving the customer money. There is one solution that will save the customer money, but it's one very specific solution, and we'll discuss that. Let me know if that makes sense. If you guys can give me some responses out there amongst you folks out there in webinar land, let me know if that makes sense. And we'll discuss, we're going to get into it a little bit more deeply, but that's just a fundamental truth that we have to understand about domestic hot water recirculation. If we're starting to talk about, is this going to save me money? What's the payback on this? When is this thing going to pay for itself? When it gets a freaking job, okay, that's when it's going to pay for itself. It doesn't work that way. So we get Making sense out there in webinar world?
Making sense. We don't have anybody chiming in at the moment, but I think that's a
They
good
could-
sign.
They could be getting their torches and pitchforks
That's
and getting
right.
ready to storm the castle. We don't know.
Looking up your address.
Yeah,
online.
that's right. Yeah. I live in Santa Clara, California. Anyway, facts are helpful things when we talk about domestic hot water recirculation and the benefit of it in terms of energy consumption, et cetera. Facts are helpful things here. Water heating is either the second or third largest residential energy use that we have. Now, like where Jason's from in California, it's probably the second biggest behind cooling,
Mhm.
domestic hot water, then maybe you have heating, or maybe lighting and appliances might be bigger than that. Where Dave and I live, it's heating, then cooling, then water heating, domestic water heating. That's kind of the way it is. It just depends on where you live. But that's a helpful fact. It can be anywhere from 14 to 25% of your household energy pie. But what's your favorite Tom Petty song, Jason?
Oh, Free Falling.
You're of no help to me. Dave,
What
what
is
is your- what is
why
your
my
fa-
favorite song?
what is
go
your
out?
favorite Tom Petty song?
Waiting is always the hardest.
Thank
Oh.
you. Waiting is the hardest part.
Oh,
Rookie mistake.
I've
dude.
never even seen this.
Rookie
I've
mistake.
never even seen this slide. That can't still be my favorite song by Tom Petty.
No, it really can't.
many-
That's
how
going to
many-
have to
how many
change.
times
Not
have you
on
gone
this
through
night.
Not tonight. I'm in charge of this group. What can I tell you? Handpicked they were, handpicked. The waiting is the hardest part. And here's an interesting thing. The newer the home, the longer the wait. The newer the home, the longer the wait. Understand this about just home size, okay? Going back to 1970 and let's say 2010. A median home that was built in 2010 is a good 75% larger than the median home size that from a house that was built in 1970. 2,400 square feet to 1,600 square feet. They build them bigger these days. That's just the way it is, right? The distance, as a result of that, the distance to that farthest fixture has almost tripled. All right, 1970 was maybe 30 feet. 2010 it was about 80 feet. So it's nearly tripled in distance to that farthest fixture. On top of that, the number of hot water fixtures in the average home has doubled over that time. 1970, maybe we had 6 hot water fixtures. By 2010, we had maybe a dozen hot water fixtures in a house.
Heck, man, I renovated my house last year. My outdoor spigot in the driveway has a hot tap on it.
Aren't you precious?
I've never used it yet.
But that's pretty,
But
that's
I mean,
something.
you know, we're adding so much more hot water all over the place, right?
That's right.
I mean, that's just simple. Everybody used to check it out. You know, they saw the red and blue pipes coming down the wall and like, where's that going? I'm like, driveway. Why? Because I can.
Because I can.
It was
Hot water car
leftover
wash.
pipe laying, you know?
There you go. Well, I got a question for the audience out here. Understand, if you take a look at these statistics, this is all national home builder stuff. Taking a look at these statistics, why do you think this is? Why are homes of a 2010 vintage 75% larger than a home built in 1970? Why do we have 166% longer run to that farthest fixture? And why do we have twice the hot water fixtures in a more recent home as opposed to one built in 1970? What do you think? I believe this to be true. There's a very specific reason for this.
Well, Doug just answered. He goes, older homes usually had equipment near a central chimney, right? Now it's near an outside wall at the end of the house, right? Which is some of our equipment.
Yeah,
Yes. Mhm.
yeah.
Yep.
But I think you were kind of right there. Jason, you said it. Think about what we did for drainage, waste, and vent in the 60s. It's usually cast iron, maybe some copper, right, for the vent, and cast iron for everything else.
Yep.
Poured lead and oakum joints, man. If you ever poured lead and oakum joint?
Nope.
Don't.
I've seen it done.
Yeah, I have. No, I don't need to get into my history with lead and oakum. It's just not a good one. But
I've heard it.
yeah. It was the advent of PVC and ABS drain pipe that kind of allowed us to build bigger houses. Now it wasn't so time consuming and expensive to run a bathroom group or fixture group way on the far side of the house. You could do it with PVC for pennies on the dollar.
That makes sense.
Now you are allowed to. The restrictions just from a practicality standpoint have been removed. You know, in the old days, there was a main stack and everything was within a few feet of the stack. Older homes, you're not waiting very long for hot water, right? Older homes, you're not waiting very long for hot water. Newer homes, that wait is getting extended because of these three items here.
Right.
And at that point, it becomes a math problem, all right? If we have more fixture units, that's more volume of water. More volume of water means bigger
Natural.
pipe.
Yep.
I got a bigger pipe to carry that volume of water.
Well, that's because the plumbing code also says we need to size that pipe to run every fixture always at
the same time. Yeah,
Right,
'cause
which never happens.
It never happens. And
Well-
they're looking to change that too, which is good,
Yeah, yeah.
which is
Only-
good news.
The only time I've ever noticed that happening, movies, Wet Bandits, Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
you turn on
Okay.
Whenever it's on in the house. Yes,
There you go. All right. Yeah, thank you. I clicked
the
eventually.
Wet Bandits, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Additionally, by code, we have lower fixture flow rates than we ever have had before. So bigger pipe combined with lower fixture flow rates means the velocity of that water going through that bigger pipe slowing down. See where we're going with this? Now we add the reduced velocity plus increased distance, and we've got about 18 times longer wait in a more recent vintage home than a home built in 1970. And that's why Janet Lee was screaming. It had nothing to do with Norman Bates's mother.
No, it was a cold shower.
It was a cold shower.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So 18 times longer today to get hot water in a more recent vintage home than a home built in 1970. Now in the 1970 home, it's still the same weight. That hasn't changed, right? But bigger house, longer weight, it's a math problem, right? It's a math problem. But again, the weighting, Jason,
Yeah, it's the hardest
it's
part.
the hardest part,
Yeah,
man.
You know, but I'm waiting to squeak a free falling joke in here. So I'm just gonna pounce on it when when it happens, you're gonna hear it.
You do that. You do that. Anyway, more time and money issues here. Statistically speaking, the U.S. Department of Energy will tell us a family of 4 will waste about 14,000 gallons of water every year, just waiting for the hot water to show up. That's just, again, one of those statistical factoids that are out there. Ultimately, roughly 1/3 of the water, sewer, and fuel bill, roughly 1/3, if you're on municipal stuff, 1/3 of your water, sewer, and fuel bill is wasted. The cost, I mean, 1/3 of the water, sewer, and fuel bill that is associated with making domestic hot water, that is wasted. That literally does go down the drain. And again, 12 to 14,000 gallons of water wasted according to the DOE. And
The waiting.
the waiting, man, the
It's all
waiting
about
is
the
the
wait.
hardest part. It's all about the wait.
Now, Dave, don't you have a visual of what 14,000 gallons looks like? It's like a tractor trailer full of water to the top.
A tractor trailer is about 10,000 gallons.
Okay, so
Yeah.
more than that.
So about
Yeah.
1.4 of those.
Right.
And that's every household.
Think about that.
Yep.
Driving, next time you get on
Yep.
the road, every tractor trailer
Yep.
that passes you
And what
is
if
somebody that wasted that water.
it's a precious resource, right?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. So, how we doing with questions? Anything coming in?
Oh, it's just Richard comments here that it's great fun to do a lead and oakum joint.
Yes, it is great fun. It
It
is
is
great
great
fun.
fun.
It's those horizontal ones with the runner that I generally wound up with lead in my hair, which is why it's not here anymore. But
That's it?
that's it. Lead, they called me lead.
No, that's
head.
what got rid of the hair?
Yeah, it's molten lead. Yes. All righty, let's talk about types of domestic hot water recirculation. We have some different methods of doing this, different ways of doing this. First is your most common. This is your trunk and branch, your traditional trunk and branch piping system that we've been using forever, with a recirc line piped in from that farthest fixture. That's the yellow line that you see right here. Okay, that yellow line that goes all the way back to the water heater with the circulator connected to it. So we simply recirc from that farthest fixture back to the water heater. And that, again, by far the most common way of doing it. In homes that are existing with, retrofit applications, existing homes where they do not have that recirc line piped in, now you look at some sort of a crossover valve like our hot link valve under that farthest fixture, like say it's a vanity or something. And what this does is it's a crossover valve that connects the hot water line to the cold water line. And what that does is we use the cold water line as your recirc return. Now, I'm going to invite anybody out there in webinar land to ask the question, because this is the question that comes up every single time. I'm hoping someone will ask it. If you know the answer already, ask the question, so I'll shut up and move on. If you don't know the answer, then definitely ask the question. What does this, looking at this picture, what do you feel in your gut? What do you want to say? What's that objection you either have yourself or you're going to hear from somebody? What is it? Tick, tick, tick.
Invariably, you hear it in almost every training class. Right?
Yes, somebody
Yep,
raises their hand and go, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
Nothing yet, huh?
Nothing.
Oh, man.
They're hacking on the keyboard
They're
really
hack-
slow.
Yep.
They're hacking on the keyboard really? So, or else
Are we still live?
are we still live? That could be it too. I don't know.
Wasting water.
Wasting water. Oh, that's a good one, but it's not the obvious one.
Well, he's asking about this piping diagram.
This particular piping diagram where we have
What could be the issue?
a crossover valve right there connecting the hot water line to the cold water line. Maybe that little visual might help. Where we're going to be pumping, the cold water line is going to serve as our domestic hot water recirculation return line back to the water heater. That's got to prompt the question.
Warm water.
Ding, ding,
Robert got
Ding,
it.
ding,
Robert
ding.
got it.
Robert got it. You the
Yeah.
man, Robert. Yeah. Are we going to
We
have,
begged him. We begged him.
are we going to have hot water in the cold water line? And we're going to fill this, are we going to fill this cold water line with hot water?
Yes.
No, because we are not irretrievably stupid. As a corporation, we are not irretrievably stupid. Dave, what are you holding in your hands?
I'm holding a hot link valve.
That's a hot link valve.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought that up because I always learned concave. Cave is in, right? So that snap disc that sits in there, is it in the concave position when it's allowing water to go through the check valve
Yes.
into the return line?
Yes.
So when it snaps into a convex,
Vex.
closing.
Correct.
Okay, as the newest member of the training team, I need to know these little things. So I
It
appreciate
starts as an innie and
Yeah.
it goes to an out.
Okay, got
There you go. The valve itself is equipped with a thermal sensor disc because we don't want hot water in the cold water line. As soon as the hot water arrives to that fixture, almost instantaneously, that disc will snap closed, preventing any more hot water from getting into the cold water line. And in fact, it's not going to, it's the way recirc works is you've got a hot water line that's filled with tepid water, right?
Room temp.
Room temp water.
Yep.
So
What's the temperature in the cold water line?
room temp.
Room temp.
Same thing.
There you
Same
go.
thing.
That's what I wanted to make sure everybody knows.
There you go.
The cold water line is also room temperature.
That's
It's not
right.
cold.
It's not cold.
Yeah.
It's room temperature.
Room temperature.
So when the pump comes on, it's pumping that room temperature tepid water through the system. And in order for that disc to snap shut, it has to see what, about 102 to 105 degree water.
Correct. Yep. Yep.
And think about what's coming out of the water heater. It's not gradually, slowly warming up. It's like there's a slug. Okay, there's a slug. So you got tepid water going through that valve, tepid, a little bit warmer, bam, then all of a sudden it's there. We snap it shut. How much warm water will you have in the cold water side? Maybe about that much.
Yeah.
You know, by the time you turn a cold water faucet on and stick your hands underneath it, that warmish water will be gone. But that's an important thing to understand about crossover valves. You got to get the right one. Ours is
Yeah. Sizing and setting up is paramount here as well.
right.
Yeah. And we'll get into that as we go further in the class. Yes.
But this also happens to be field serviceable, thermal sensor disc, no paraffin wax or anything in here, or slow act. It's not a slow acting valve, it's a very fast acting valve. So we designed it to prevent that from happening.
And hand tight on that, right?
Hand tight, definitely hand tight. Then we have our full-sized loop. This is a plumbing system using PEX and multi-port tees, where you just run one big full-sized hot water line around the house back to the water heater and use these multi-port tees to feed your hot water fixtures. This, with an on-demand type of circulator like the Takeo Genie, might be the most efficient way to provide domestic hot water recirculation. And when you use a Takeo Genie, which is an on-demand system, that's going to be the one solution where the cost of using the domestic hot water recirculation system is actually less than waiting and wasting. This is the one that saves you money. All righty, cool. We are cruising along. Takeo trivia question time. Now, again, we lost Brian Wilson today. We lost Sly Stone earlier this week. This is I can hear the Google machines already warming up here. They're already warming up. So this is a good one. This is gonna cover both of them. Now, both the Beach Boys and Sly and the Family Stone, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, all right? And both groups have multiple albums on Rolling Stone's most recent, this was 2023, most recent top 500 albums of all time list. That's, they're typing away.
That is a really good statement.
That's
yes.
a really good statement.
So difficult. You make these so hard, John.
This is very straightforward.
This is right on Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The highest ranked Beach Boys album is listed as number 2 all time. And I think it's well deserved. It's one of my favorite albums. And my daughter gets married in August. One of the songs off that album is going to be Our Father-Daughter Dance.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. And the highest rated Sly and the Family Stone album is listed at number 60. So we got number 2 and number 60. Your quest, my friends, is to find us the names of those albums and type them on in. What are those albums? What Sly and the Family Stone album is ranked number 60 on Rolling Stone's most recent 500 top albums of all time? And what Beach Boy album is listed as number 2 all time? And I don't care if you agree or disagree with the rankings. I just want to know what those albums are. I want to know if you know. I know what they are. And I had them both too. I wore out one. No, I gave them all to my son. He's got them all now.
Oh yeah, right.
I wore out one and I played the hell out of the other. So nothing like dancing to the music. Let's take you higher. I knew a guy who went to Woodstock.
Okay.
He went to Woodstock, and he just got out of the Army. He actually still had his uniform, and he somehow got to Woodstock, and Sly and the Family Stone was playing like at dawn one day. And he says, I'm there. He says, I'm in this muddy field in my uniform. I'm half asleep, and all of a sudden I'm woken by Sly Stone singing, I want to take you higher. And he says, I don't know what it was, but it was one of the most remarkable moments of his life.
Wow.
When just being woken up in Woodstock right out of the Army and listening to Sly Stone doing, I want to take you higher at Woodstock
Crazy.
with him and
Wow.
350,000 of his closest friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different times, man. Different
Yeah,
times.
man.
All righty. Cool. We got some answers coming in.
We do.
got one
Gotta
already,
love
yeah.
it.
Got
Gotta
one.
love it. All right. Let's talk about customers. Now we talked about the types of domestic hot water recirculation. Let's talk about type of customers. There are 3 types of customers for domestic hot water recirculation. The first is by far the biggest, fattest part of the bell curve. And they are people who simply don't like waiting or wasting. Or waiting and wasting. It's any one of those 3. They don't like to wait, they don't like to waste, or they don't like to wait and waste. All right. That's the biggest part of the bell curve, and they're looking for a solution. And Dave, you mentioned something like this quite a while ago. Is most people don't even know that it's a problem that could be solved.
Right.
That waiting and wasting. Most people just think that's the way it is. They don't know that there is a solution to that problem. So it's always, I say, well, no, I don't have many customers asking me about it. Well, they probably don't know to ask about it. As it's like a doctor saying, oh, not a lot of people are asking for, to have their appendix removed. So I guess there's no need for it around here.
Mhm.
People don't ask for that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
That's the biggest chunk of that bell curve. Just, I don't like waiting, wasting, or both. On the other end of the bell curve, you have customers that just don't give a damn. I don't care. They don't care in that I don't care what it costs. I don't care how all I want anytime, 24/7, day or night, I turn on a faucet. I don't want to wait for hot water. I don't care about anything else. Just make sure there's hot water there anytime, day or night, 24/7. And I don't want any of your excuses. They don't give a damn.
Yep.
All right. Then there's another group that also doesn't give a damn. And this group doesn't really care if it works or not. They don't, all they want is the cheapest option so they can fill in a box on their punch list. And you know who I'm discussing. Who am I referencing?
Eh,
It tract housing. It's
Yeah.
just, it's the way of the world.
Yep.
I don't want to spend a
It's
lot.
code.
It's code.
It's
I
code.
got-
It's a lot of areas.
I got to check the box.
Yep.
I don't care I don't care if it's any good. I don't even care if it works. I just give me the cheapest thing you can. Let me check the box off and we'll move on from there.
It's very interesting when we start talking about code there for a second, because more of the country has it as code, just nobody enforces it
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
How
yeah.
would
because they don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
boy,
it's just
building-
it's still a lot of people that just are not familiar with the code, because right now, building code is calling for a recirc system in new construction if the furthest fixture away from the water heater is more than 50 feet.
Yeah, which is almost out everything.
Yeah.
And we're seeing
50
it,
feet.
we're seeing it out west. It has to be insulated all the way there too.
Right.
Yeah,
And you
has
guys,
to
yeah,
be-
I mean,
you're
you're
just
seeing a
crawling
little
under
bit
a house.
more enforcement in California
Yeah.
out there, a little tighter on it.
Well, the Pacific
yeah.
Northwest, Seattle, that area too.
Yep,
And
yep.
into the deserts where the water's a little bit more scarce.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get into the Arizona, New Mexico area. See a little more enforcement.
There you go. There you go. But these are the three basic kinds of customers. And the thing about the two I don't give a damn customers is the same solution works for both. Same solution works for both. But that's not to say it's a good solution. It's actually a very bad solution, but it does work for both. So how do we solve this problem? How do we solve this problem? We have multiple options here. First, dumb pumps. Dumb pump is just a pump with a line cord. You plug it in and it runs 24/7. That takes care of both I don't give a damn customers. It's the cheapest solution, so that guy's happy. And if it's always running 24/7, anytime, day or night, I open up a faucet, I got hot water, makes him happy too. There is a constituency here that this makes very unhappy. And that would be the pipe. This particular solution makes the pipe very unhappy to the point where it would like to turn into Swiss cheese. Okay, it makes it very unhappy. The pipe says, to hell with this, I'm not keeping the water on the inside. You start running hot chlorinated water, high temperatures at high velocities, nonstop. It's like you're giving kryptonite to Superman. You are going to kill that pipe. The pipe is going to fail, whether it's PEX, CPVC, copper, doesn't matter. That's the kryptonite for any pipe. So dumb pumps, cheapest solution, easiest solution, maybe the worst solution. All right. We do have now slightly less dumb pumps. We go up in class a little bit.
Mhm.
We have slightly less dumb pumps, and that's simply a dumb pump with a timer.
Yep.
Now we introduce a time element to it, where you got this little analog timer. They have digital timers. You can program when you want this thing to run and when you want it to not run. Couple of issues with timers. What happens twice a year?
You asking me or
I'm
you
asking
asking the
you.
crowd? Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at you. I'm asking you.
Daylight savings and a couple of storms roll through, maybe power outages, right?
You got
Couple of times a
power,
year.
you got power outages, and you got the daylight
daylight
savings to standard and standard to daylight savings. Nobody ever goes back and reprograms these things, ever,
Right.
when there's a power outage. or
As
whatever.
Rich just posted, I'll set this perfectly, said no one ever.
Said no one ever, yeah. Usually we see these things either disconnected or they run continuously.
Yeah.
You know, there will be smart guys that will, each one of those little dippy switches, it's 15 minutes.
Mhm.
They'll go every other one. So it's 15 on, 15 off, 15 on, 15 off. Okay, that's not bad. That's better than having it run all the time, that's for sure. So slightly less dumb pump. Then we get even better, we can put in a slightly less dumb pump with an aquastat. Because one of the things a dumb pump will, even a slightly less dumb pump will do is it'll run even if the hot water's already at the farthest fixture. Even if the hot water's already back at the water heater, it'll keep running because the timer says run. You throw an aquastat into the equation, now we're adding we're making it a slightly less dumb pump, slightly less dumb. Now that aquastat says, okay, the hot water's here, I pump, just take 5. We don't need you to run. Okay, then when the temperature drops, it turns it back on again if the timer says it's okay to run.
Right.
Now, it's a great way to do it. The problem is the best place for that aquastat might be the least convenient place to put it.
Mhm.
Where do you think the best place for that aquastat would be?
The gazenda,
No,
the gazada.
The furthest out.
At the,
Oh,
at the
yeah,
last
those are
fixture.
where the most optimal
Yeah.
is? Yeah, of course. Well, I thought you were asking where most people land
Oh,
it.
no, yeah, most people land it right on the
Yeah.
Gazinda side of the
Yeah, yeah.
circulator, right on the return
Because it's
side.
right there in the
Because
mechanical.
it's right there, and
Yeah.
I mean, that piece of wire is only that long. I can't put it anywhere else.
And I'm not crawling under these.
Yeah, they make wire extra, you know, they make extra wire. You can wire that up longer. The best place for that aquastat to go is at the farthest fixture. So when the hot water gets to
Absolutely.
that farthest fixture,
Absolutely.
the pump's done its job, it can shut off. It's the least convenient, but it is the best place. Then maybe the best solution is a dumb pump with a smart control. A dumb pump with a smart control. That'd be like, say, our ECM 006E3 with the Taco smart plug, which we have right here. The smart plug. All right. Let's talk about each one. Dumb pumps, as we said, they're dumb. Standard 00 pump with a line cord, piece of cake. Plug it in, it runs 24/7. Don't give a damn. People are very, very happy. The only real positive we can say here, I think from an existential standpoint, is that it's cheap and easy. That's about it. Again, most often, we'll get into sizing as well. An oversized pump pumping hot chlorinated water continuously at high velocity will kill the pipe. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It will kill the pipe. And somebody somewhere is going to have some splaining to do. Okay. That's just the way, that's the way of the world. Okay. That's the way of the world. All right. The slightly less dumb pump, again, we throw a timer into the equation. Here's a question I have for the audience. Who sets it up? And then do you ever go back and reset it? Or is it, when you install one of these things, do you just give the homeowner the instruction sheet and walk away? Or do you set it up for them? Do you ask them? These are questions I have because I don't know. I've never gotten a consensus on this, and I've never really been able to provide good guidance because I don't know. But anyway, those are questions that need to be asked about anything with a timer. Who sets it up? And again, it's going to run when it's not needed. That's the other thing. It will run when it's not needed because it's a slave to the timer. The aquastat makes it a little bit less of a slave to the timer. It is better, but again, it's all based on temperature. It's based on temperature and time. It's not necessarily based on need or demand. Not based on need or demand. Now, the smart plug, dumb pump with a smart control. Now we're getting into need, demand, and habits. All right. The smart plug is a simple control that basically learns your domestic hot water usage. It takes over control of the circulator. It's not a timer per se. It's a smarter control. All right. What it does is it learns your domestic hot water usage patterns over a course of a week. The first week you install this, it runs 10 minutes off, 5 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 5 minutes on. So every hour it's going to run for 15 minutes. All right. 10 on, 5 off. 10 on, I'm sorry. 10 off, 5 on, 10 off, 5 on, 10 off, 5 on, 10 off, 5. So 20 minutes, it's going to run 20 minutes right there.
20 minutes, sir.
20 minutes every hour. A math challenge tonight. It's going to learn your domestic hot water usage pattern. So while it's doing this pulsing, 5 minutes on, 10 minutes off thing, this sensor on this wire that you see right down here, it's a sensor that is strapped onto the hot water supply pipe as it's leaving the mechanical room. It's sensing an event, meaning a hot water usage, meaning it's a temperature rise, a sustained use, and then a drop. It's measuring that. If it senses an event, it remembers, hey, somebody got up, took a shower at 6 o'clock Monday morning. I'm going to remember that. All right. I'm going to remember we did something at 9 o'clock. I'm going to remember another event at 3 in the afternoon and another event at 7 at night. I'm remembering these events. All right. And it does an event schedule for each day of the week. After that first week, it shuts everything off. Pump's not running at all, but it remembers you took a shower 6 a.m. Monday morning. At 5 a.m. the following Monday, it goes back into its pulse mode. It starts at 10 minutes off, 5 minutes on, 10 off, 5 on, 10 on, 5 off, 10 off, 5 on. Let me get that right. Primes that line up with hot water so that when you do get up and take a shower the next Monday, you're primed, you're ready to go. There's no waiting or wasting. And it's going to do that pulse pattern for a 2-hour window. So if you took a shower at 6, it's gonna pulse from 5 to 7 in case you get up a little early, in case you get up a little later, or in case it's one of those 2 times a year when we spring ahead or fall back. And it's constantly relearning too. It's constantly relearning and constantly adapting to your changing schedule. So it's not like it does it once and that's it forever. It's going to relearn every single day, every single day. Am I having a brain hemorrhage or the lights go up? All right, good. This was planned. This was planned. All right. So there's no programming, there's no dip switches, there's no setting up of any kind other than simply making sure you strap on the sensor. It's not an aquastat, it's a sensor. All right.
Medium.
So there's no programming at all necessary and no reprogramming necessary.
What are you laughing at, Dave? What you got him chuckling over there? Was it the brain aneurysm?
Yeah. And I looked up on the camera, see the camera, and it's black. And I could just see the takeaway at the dark. That's all everybody saw. They're like, wait, what? Everybody online just went, what the hell's going on over there?
We can't get anything right, can we?
We've had a day. That's all I can tell you, folks. We've had a day at Takeo. We've had a day where all 3 of us are a little punchy. Some of us more so than others. We're all a little punchy. It's been a day. That's all I can tell you. It's been a day.
Thanks for staying online with us. And you didn't just leave.
We appreciate your patience.
You heard them talking still, so.
You're indulging us. Let's say, okay, quick poll for, are you having fun tonight? Because this is our last one. This is the last one of the spring season. This is the last one. You guys having fun out there? Type in a little something. Give Jason's my man Jason here. He's monitoring the questions. He's feeling lonely. All right.
Yeah, absolutely, Douglas says.
All right, great.
Waiting for summer, Dave Cooper says. Well, I don't know.
We're gonna have a little.
Summer's a state of mind. Sure, James Winslow, who's been a big winner for us lately, James Winslow, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. I think you can now outfit a family of 4 with all those t-shirts.
Summer classes. Yeah, Dave Cooper. Let's go. And before we get moving, you know what? Let's finish Smart Plug. We do have a question that we did forget. So just remind me, okay?
All right. We also have an optional pulse mode in this thing. So for that I don't give a darn guy who says, I don't care. I want to turn hot water faucet on anytime, day or night. I don't want to be waiting for hot water. Don't give me any excuses. We have an optional pulse mode where there's a little mode button right down here where you just press that. It changes the mode. It goes into pulse. And what it does is it does that 10 minutes on, or I'm sorry, 5 minutes on, 10 minutes off routine 24/7.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you got a project that doesn't have schedules. You know, like you use a small apartment building, you know, hotels. I mean,
like commercial.
This is a 6 amp rating in this thing.
Right. Yeah. You take a heck of a pump.
Yeah. So you can put a lot of pump, as long as it's 110, of course. And of course, you don't have to worry about code in having a plug-in device. You know, so some commercial pumps need to be hardwired.
Right.
You can't do the plug on it and stuff like that.
But you can do it in a -5
in the relays, correct?
Yes,
right. So, but there are, you know, like I have one of these in my house, and I had it in the learn mode. COVID came along.
Oh gosh, that changed everything.
I put it into pulse.
Yeah.
Because there was no patterns anymore to hot water in the house.
Yep.
So yeah.
Power outage. What happens with the power outage? Well, it resets itself. Okay, it resets itself. It's got a little internal memory, so if it's been not a long power outage, it'll remember. But once you start it up again, it goes back into the learning mode. And time changes again. You get that 2-hour window that gives you that 1 hour this way, 1 hour that way. Additionally, it has a built-in vacation and exercise mode. Doesn't sense an event for 36 hours. It says, I don't think anybody's home.
Yep.
You know, it talks it over with the pump. The pump says, I don't think anybody's home either. So the two of them basically decide nobody's home. I ain't gonna run anything. So it's gonna just shut down. If no event for 36 hours, nobody's home, shuts down. It'll exercise the pump once a week just to make sure nothing stays stagnant. Then when you come back and you turn it on, you turn on a hot water fixture, you may have to wait, but it goes bam, right back into that learning mode and it'll restart the whole process. So built-in vacation and exercise mode. Installation options, just some simple diagrams. Again, nothing fancy. The most important thing right here is that sensor needs to be on the hot water supply line. You know, this shows it just a little bit above that water heater. In reality, it's got to be like the next thing that pipe sees is the wall. as it leaves the mechanical room. That's how you want it. You don't want it to be falsified by the water heater at all. You want it as far away from that water heater as possible on the supply pipe as it leaves, so it'll pick up a real event, okay? And then insulation around it's going to help you out a lot. Now, no recirc line. We talked about this. This is the hot link, a hot link valve, and you can get it in a kit. You can either buy it. You can buy the valve by itself as a replacement for other valves that may have failed. You can buy it in conjunction with the circulator, with the 006E3 circulator, or you can buy it as a kit with the smart plug. So you can get a lot of different options for picking this thing up. What do you want it, what do you want, what do you need for a specific project? So again, the Hotlink Plus E is the full kit. And again, it includes the valve and the hoses, especially. It includes the valve, the circulator, the plug, and the hose kit.
And the fittings.
And the fittings, and the fittings. They're very important. And the fittings, and the fittings. And again, you see here the thermal sensor disc and the cartridge where you screw that in, as Jason said, hand tight. You don't need a 3-foot wrench and a 4-foot cheater bar on this. When you screw this thing in, you'll see. All right. You screw it in, it gets snug, it gets snug, it gets snug, it gets snug, and then it bottoms out.
Yep.
And that's it. You don't have to go any more than that.
More like a mechanical thread than an IPS type thread.
Right. You don't have to put a wrench on it or crank it down. It works just fine. If you do over crank it, you will start getting, it'll snap. It'll make an audible. You'll be able to hear that thing opening and closing. And it's at that point it becomes a little chatterbox. Yeah, a little bit of a chatterbox. Cool. Finally, we summon the genie. Shall we summon the genie?
Summon the genie?
Summon the genie.
Barbara Eden.
Barbara Eden. No, don't ruin this for me. When I think of genie, I don't want to think of either one of you guys. That's just wrong. I'm thinking Barbara Eden, but not that genie. We're not talking about that genie. We're talking about that genie, the Takeo genie.
All right.
The Takeo genie, the Takeo genie. And this is an on-demand type of recirc system where it has to be enabled manually. You push a button or a motion sensor, okay? But generally speaking, it's a push button where you want this thing to come on when a hot water use is imminent.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Remember, we don't necessarily want a recirc pump to run when nobody's going to be using hot water anytime soon. With an on-demand system like the Genie, well, with anything on a timer, when time is on your side, folks, you'd be surprised how small of a recirc pump you can get away with. They don't have to be very big at all. All right. When we do something on demand, bam, we want speed. We want to evacuate that hot water line of cold or tepid water as quickly as we can. So we're going to be dealing with either a 006, a 008, or a 0011 type of circulator. Usually a 008 is maybe the most common. So it'll evacuate that hot water line of cold or tepid water as quickly as possible. We're gunning for about 20 seconds. All right. And it also has this guy right here. That is a temperature sensor on the inlet side so that when the hot water gets there, it shuts off. And it could be either a 5 or a 10-degree temperature. It is adjustable. So again, we want it to happen fast. We want it to happen fast. So push button, motion sensor, wired. Everything's wired at this point. We do have a wireless push button control that is optional as well. But again, it's for immediate delivery. When would you use this? Tankless. If the tankless water heater doesn't have a built-in recirc package, if it does, use that. It's easy as can be. If it doesn't have a built-in recirc package, you don't want to run a tankless on a timer. Why don't you want to run a tankless on a timer?
Because you're just going to be banging it on and off.
Banging it on and off. Yep. And it's going to, the water heater is going to be running when you're not using hot water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point of having that thing, is it only runs when you want hot water.
Right.
So you don't want a timer on a tankless. You sure as heck don't want a dumb pump running all the time on a tankless. You want something on demand, and that's where this solution really works for you. So I'm getting ready I got my robe on, I'm in the bathroom, getting ready to take a shower, hit the button, all right? Take my robe off, hang it up, get my hair ready to be washed, stick my hand in the shower, turn the shower on, stick my hand in, hot water's there, okay? We want it to be done that quickly, all right? And the other application for this is heat pump water heaters. We talked a little bit about heat pump water heaters earlier. Heat pump water heater manufacturers are really kind of starting to think about how they want to handle domestic hot water recirculation. And most of the ones that have taken a stance are saying has to be on demand. And you have to have a certain, you can't have too high of a flow rate. We want it to run as little as possible. Turn the pump on, and they demand a temperature-based shutoff system. So again, the Genie fits very, very well with a heat pump water heater, and we can get that line evacuated very quickly and turn everything off and let the heat pump water heater do its job and keep it from being an inefficient electric water heater and let it be an efficient heat pump water heater. All right, and here's a diagram where we show the circulator back in the mechanical room. Okay, and you can have multiple remote activation. It's not just one. You can have a motion sensor here. You can have a push button here. You can have the wireless push button here. You've got multiple. You put multiple enablers here if you wish. And here we show it if you don't have a recirc line. It can be installed in the vanity under that farthest fixture. It can be installed there. If you have power, that's always the given. You got to have power, of course, because we don't have a nuclear powered circulator yet. You got to have power there. But it can be used in a crossover type of setup. Again, that heat sensor on the Gazinta side will turn that circulator off once the hot water gets there. Again, a 5 or a 10 degree temperature rise, your choice. In this case, probably a 5 would be sufficient. All right, always check with the manufacturers on what their requirements are. They'll tell you, all right, and they'll give you some limitations. Some of them will say, you rather didn't, but if you were to.
On the heat pump guys.
On the heat pump guys, right.
Some of them are in a really gray area too. They just say, well, they probably don't, but maybe do it. I don't know. You know,
if you're gonna do it this way.
Right.
And that's again, they're learning as well as along with us and on what's going to be the best way to provide domestic hot water recirculation. These heat pump water heaters are all about saving electricity. We're trying to introduce saving water into the equation as well. So we can save electricity and water, then it's a win-win. But here's one thing, none of them recommend a timer. None of them recommend a timer. All righty.
All right.
okay.
Go back a slide.
Yes.
All right. So we talked about a couple of different ways of doing recirc. All right. Your water heater that you have installed in the house is going to almost tell you what type of system to put in as well. We were talking we're talking HotLink before. HotLink is not designed for your tankless water heaters.
Yes.
All right. So I want to make sure we talk about that real fast. This is for your tank style. The problem, not the problem, but where we run into that, this only has a 0.3 gallons a minute flow through it. Very, very low flow. Not enough flow to get your water heater to fire. It's looking for a half a gallon a minute or more. So remember that this is not for your tankless units. Now, yes, you could put up to 6 of these in one house with one pump. Still does not get you the flow because they might all shut down.
Yeah, the 0.33 isn't cumulative with the more you put in there.
Right. So you got to remember that. So these are for your tank style water heaters only. And it could be used with a tankless as well. A heat pump water heater, as you see here.
Because it's a tank type.
Right. So it's a tank style. It's got storage behind it. When you are looking at the Genie is designed for tank and tankless. All right. So when you have a tank style design, you can use your 006, 008, 0011. It depends. There's a whole bunch of math that we can figure that out and go from there. However, tankless almost never sees a 006.
Right.
We're looking at 008. I call for a 2.5 bath house and smaller. That means you're using a smaller tankless water heater. 2.5 bath house and larger, you're going with a larger tankless, you're going to want to use that 0011. Okay, so because those coils through that tankless water heater have such a high pressure drop, we need to put the bigger pump on there to drive that water through fast, quick, and furious, and shut down.
No,
So
Douglas just chimes in here too. Perfect timing. What would you recommend on an indirect connected to with a mod boiler?
that's a
And
tank.
It's a tank.
It's a tank.
If you got a dedicated line coming back, I'd use a smart plug. If you don't, if you got to use the cold return, let's go with the 006E with the smart link.
Right.
Or
Again,
highway.
yeah. And same thing, combi units, not using this.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
Again, same thing. And a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
a-
those
it's a tank with
manufacturers now
water.
have that bypass valve in there, and you've got maybe a dedicated circ in there already. So you got to pay attention to that, the different things that you have out there. But I just wanted to make sure, because I get this phone call all the time.
Mhm.
Dude, it's not working. I'm getting no hot water.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. No, you're not going to with this on a tankless.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Not recommended at all. Very good. Very good. Yeah,
Excellent.
and an indirect is a tank.
Yep.
It's a tank type, so
Yep.
just treat it as a tank.
All right. Now we can go.
Now we can go to the trivia
Okay.
question
Yes, sir.
answers.
Yes.
Okay, remember, both Beach Boys and Sly and the Family Stone, multiple albums on Rolling Stone's most recent top 500 albums of all time list. Beach Boy album ranked number 2. Highest Sly album ranked number 60. What are those albums? Beach Boys' Pet Sounds as number 2.
Whoa.
Great record. You know what the best way to listen to Pet Sounds? Lie on the floor in the dark wearing headphones.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that. Anything
Okay.
else is up to you.
All right. Well, you got to do Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon with headphones on. For me.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a given. But that wasn't the number 2 album of all time.
We name a few songs off of this album so I can kind of place it because
Off of Pet Sounds?
Yeah.
Oh, Caroline No, Sloop John B.
Okay,
God Only Knows. That's
Okay.
the wedding
Yep.
song for me and my daughter.
that's
Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? if
Okay. Yeah, I know
we
the
were
album.
old? Yeah. Great record. And then Sly and the Family Stone's greatest hits was number
Greatest
60.
hits.
Brought up a question. We had a little discussion before the show.
Yeah. And it depends on what year the ranking was done here.
Yeah, this
Right,
was
because,
this was 2023 when they did this
All
ranking.
right. Rich McGrath did a whole bunch of research, popped up and sent it over. It's like every couple of years,
Mm.
Sly and the Family Stone kept on moving all over the place, like drastic changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do greatest hits albums belong on the greatest album lists, greatest all-time album lists? I think not.
Yeah.
I have an issue with Rolling Stone on this. They didn't even ask me my opinion. I don't think greatest hits albums belong
No, definitely not.
because
It's taking the cream of the crop from every
Yeah.
album.
From a bunch of years.
yeah, you would
and
think,
remastering them and repackaging and selling it to you.
yeah,
Again,
I would think that, okay, then the Beatles' Red and the Blue albums would be 1 and 2. I mean, wait. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Am I right, people? My friends out there in webinar land, am I right? Is Dave right? Or is Jason right? We all agree, right?
I think we all are.
We all
pretty
agree.
pretty
It's
much.
probably the first thing the 3 of us have agreed on all freaking day. That's what kind of day it's been,
You
people.
know what?
It's the first time we
That
all,
is absolutely true.
that is the first thing the 3 of us have agreed upon. Ah. I had a full head of hair before I became your boss. I got to tell you that.
I did too. I did too.
There we go. All right, Pet Sounds, greatest hits. Did we have some winners there, Dave?
Yes, we got a bunch of names up on the list here.
All righty. Well, should I turn this over to you then?
You sure can.
All right.
Definitely.
All right. So I'm going to change the presenter and I'm going to make it you, man. Okay.
All right, I gotta get that out of the way. I gotta get this out of the way.
Let me show your screen, man.
Get rid of that.
Put that over there.
All right, do that. And I messed everything up.
You know, it was happening to me last week.
What are you doing?
I'm the presenter. I had to get to this screen here.
Oh, okay. You're still not showing your screen though.
No, I'm not. I know, because then I gotta get this icon. I know.
He was
The whole-
prepared.
it
I'm
was-
telling you, this is
It was
prepared.
happening to me
Yeah.
last week too. Pain in the butt.
Hey, as it
Bingo.
is. That's a good, huh?
There we go.
All right.
There's everybody's names up there. Listen, and I just so you guys all know, yes, there is a notebook here. Okay, I do have the names on it and they are in series here. So here comes part 9. Just because I'm just gonna keep your names. I may not do shit with it. but I
You're
mean,
holding
so-
the book up like it's.
Yeah.
I know.
It's been a day.
I
This has
know,
been the
I've
day.
been wanting to do it, man. It's been a very busy spring for me, very busy, so. All right, here goes the cooler, backpack cooler.
Will Wilson.
Excellent. You know, this is the last class.
This is the last
I
class.
do want to get stuff out of my basement.
You do want to get stuff out of your basement.
Yes.
We're feeling generous.
I'm
We're
doing
feeling
another
generous.
cooler.
All right, another cooler.
Another cooler.
All right, Will Wilson and Robert Kaplan.
Come on down.
All right. And a couple t-shirts.
All right, t-shirt time. Randy Carter for the t-shirt. Congratulations, Randy. And one more t-shirt.
I still got a bunch, yes.
William
All
Hansen.
right.
Do one more?
Yes.
What the hell? It's more work for you. I don't care.
Umberto.
Humberto Guzman. Congratulations,
All right.
Humberto. All right. We have winners. Awesomeness.
Awesome.
Gentlemen,
What a great one.
what a great season
What a
of
great
Takeo after your first.
My
my man.
first, I could be considered an old pro at this by now.
Well,
Okay.
okay.
all right.
You're not a greenhorn anymore.
There you are.
Yeah, I don't know for those of you who've been with us the whole time, I mean, have you noticed I remember the first one, Jason, you said, Jason, say hi. Hi.
Oh, no, that's not even
You know,
it. That
bashful
is not
dude.
even in me.
Now we couldn't shut him up the whole night. He just said,
We need rest. We need sleep.
we need
I think
We
sleep.
next
need
season he
sleep.
runs with it now.
Yeah, I think, next season you're going to be the sole host.
You know what? I would prefer to get two new guys in here. But I'll take the reins.
He's taking over the
We are punch drunk.
very punchy today.
We're
Oh my
punch
God.
drunk. I think we need a good night's sleep and some pizza.
Yes.
Yep.
Not in that order though.
No. Whatever.
There you go.
Whatever floats your boat.
I think your pizza's not a bad idea.
So Dave was asking if we're taking a few weeks off. Well, no, we're just a couple of weeks off of Takeaway After Dark.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Should we spill the beans a little on what we're planning on
So
doing?
we are working on a different format and you guys will hear about it. You'll see some emails and the socials and also the jazz. We don't know if it's going to be 100% just yet. All right. So we may work on a new format. We'll do some testing in the next couple of weeks where you will be able to watch this as a stream.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be on your Facebook account. It's going to be on your Instagram. It's going to be on YouTube Live. All right, on the Takeo pages, where you're going to be able to stream this now.
Yeah.
So rather than going through the sign up process and using GoToWebinar, which has been very successful.
Yep.
And easy for us to use, we want to be able to reach more and more of you out there.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's what we're looking into right now. We've got a lot of work to do on the back end in order to do this. Yeah, Rich is calling us techno weenies. Yes.
I'm glad you put techno in there.
Yeah,
Rich. Thank you.
and
Spotify too?
And then, yes, it won't be live on Spotify,
Okay.
but now it's going to be recorded like a video podcast.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So it is going to stay on, and we're going to throw it out there on the podcast sites. You
Yeah.
know, so it's
Cool.
on Spotify and Apple and everything
It'll be
like that.
fun to
So,
field
yeah.
test it too.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
summer.
so
Yep.
it is going to be a field test over the summer. So we're going to do 4 classes, I think, is the goal.
If we
And
like
we're
it, we'll
just
do
gonna
more.
And we're just going to do some random classes. So classes that we like to do that don't fit into the
Right.
Takeaway After Dark series. And that's going to be some of the fun stuff that we're working on right now. So, yeah.
I think it's going to be, we tried doing it a little bit with our old Monday Night Live
Monday
on
Night Live.
Instagram.
Yep.
That's what whetted the old appetite, so to speak.
Yes.
So we want to look for new and kind of unique ways of delivering this content to you. And if you guys have any ideas, please let us know. Drop us a line if there's something that you would like to see us try.
Yeah.
In terms of delivery, because we don't have all the answers. We have some of the answers,
Yeah.
but we don't have all the answers. So
It was beginning to be challenging too, to do Takeaway After Dark, Monday Night Live,
Yeah.
another night event, and trying to get it all to fit onto the calendar. So we came down to saying, hey, we can do at least one night a week.
yeah,
Where you're gonna have at least 2 of us, if
Right.
not maybe at least one of us,
Right.
you know,
And-
being able to deliver it. Yeah.
and the nice thing, it doesn't have to be regular. If it just shows up, It doesn't have to be like 7 o'clock every Wednesday night, although that would be a nice thing to shoot for.
Yeah, I think we would still, I'm
Yeah.
gonna plan it that way. So
Yeah.
it's still the same
Yeah.
takeaway after dark time period.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
That works.
Unless you guys want us to do this at different times. I mean, we've got Taco Tuesdays at noon on Tuesdays, East Coast time. So, but it's a better time night. Obviously, Wednesdays at, at 7 PM work for COVID.
Mhm.
You know, now that we're out of COVID, if there's something else, Dave's asking field trips, all
Mm.
right? I mean,
Yeah, we
I'm
could do.
not sure what that means, man.
Was us going on a field trip? We could go on a field trip.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're very rarely in the same room anyway.
Yeah,
really,
I mean, the biggest reason why we're all together tonight is because we have the factory class here starting tomorrow.
Right.
So we do have the factory class, where we've got some of our attendees in here for the, coming in for a couple of days. So that's why we're here. But most of the time, I got my home office, you got yours.
Yep.
And Lord knows where Jason is.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah, somewhere
Yeah, we've seen. Hey,
free falling my way around California.
Don't start with me. It's been like this all freaking day, people.
So Dave.
There's
was
some
asking-
clowns to the left of me,
Big
jokers to
clown.
the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle.
So Dave was asking about still giving the certificates of attendance. That's where things start becoming different.
Okay.
We don't have a way to track the people coming and going and things like that. So, but we wanted to be able to reach a larger audience and easier as well, but we have to give up a few things, Dave.
Yeah, so we'll still have
yeah.
certificates for Taco Tuesday, and we
Yes.
go back and we do, the traditional Taco after dark setup as well. We're going to see how this works.
Mm.
Right.
No decisions, long-term decisions made, that we're going to see how this works. And, if there's, if the certificate of attendance is, a lot of people won't come for the PDH. Well, if there's enough of a demand, we'll do that kind of stuff
Yep.
too. It's just, we're going to give this a shot over the
There's
summer.
a lot of work that we have to do on the back end to get it all set up as well.
Yeah.
So
So
if I can track it and we can prove it, to make sure those boards get that data from you or for you, then I'll do it.
most of them ask when they accept that credit, it has to be live and there has to be a question and answer period. Most of the boards that ask for verification for those certificates,
You got to be there live.
you got to be live.
Yep.
You can't just watch a recording. You got to be there live, and there has to be a question and answer session, or the capability of asking questions. It has to be interactive in that
Right.
respect.
Which we do have,
Which
which we do have in the streaming services that I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll have that. We'll have that as well. And now it's just a matter of how
How
do
do
we
I track the people that come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because again, you only get a certificate if you're here for the whole show too, because we are able to track that.
Right.
Go to Webinar does a really good job of that. So what did Joe Pesci say in My Cousin Vinny?
$200.
Good ass kicking, $200. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to figure out which way we're gonna go here. Good ass kicking or 200. We really could use a good ass kicking, I'll be perfectly honest with you, but I think I'll go with the 200.
So, all right, excellent. So James is saying keep the 7 PM time. He's liking that. So
All
that
right,
works.
good.
So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
keep it in
good.
the evenings and, field trips. Field trips I did 2 years ago.
What's field trips?
I was doing Takeaway After Dark from different trade schools across the country,
Okay.
across North America.
Often by ourselves.
Yes.
I remember when you and I did, we were the only people there. The trade school
Yeah,
said, yeah, just lock the door when you're leaving. I mean, be here.
Yeah. So, so we did a few field trips. It was, again, it's challenging because it's 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I went to the trade schools and tried to get the students to stay, and they're like, well, we finished class at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want me to hang around for another 5 more hours?
Yeah.
So I'm
Or
like, well,
you can go home and come back.
Yeah,
I mean,
I am. Well, some of these guys live 2 hours away, coming to the trade school. I get it, stuff like that. So, who knows?
Yeah.
We may have to do, we got to get the station wagon.
We got to get the band back together, man.
The National Lampoon wagon.
National Lampoon Station.
Yes, we got to go on vacation.
You're not well.
I know. Yes, I think we
Summer,
should.
I think a
Could
summer.
we do a whole week in 1 week? I mean, a whole season in 1 week,
Why would we do that?
because it's all going to be on Spotify too.
That's true. That's true. We'll
So
release them as
could
we
do a
go.
whole-
Look at the
We can go
big brain
across the
on
country.
Brad.
Yes, we're on a mission from God.
A mission from God. Just like the new Pope from Chicago.
From Chicago, yes.
He's on a mission from God.
He sure
Mission
is.
from God. There you go.
So, yeah. So how did everything go tonight for guys? For domestic hot water research, did you learn something that you can start applying and hopefully selling more of?
Or at least doing it
Yeah.
right.
The statistic out there is about 3% of the homes out there have Recirc installed.
You know what that means?
3.
You know what that means?
97% need it.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So, so there's a lot of opportunity out there. I talk about this story often. My wife, when I first started working at TACO and my kids were small, my wife got involved in a lot of different events at school, meaning Girl Scouts, PTA, class mom, you name it, she was getting involved in it. And there was always a meeting at my kitchen table when I walked in the door. You walk in the door wearing a TACO shirt and it doesn't look like the Taco Bell logo. They don't know what I do. And I would talk about domestic hot water research with a lot of the people that were at my kitchen table, because once I started talking heating, it was shoom, so I talked about hot water research and everybody always, really, you can do that? Really, I don't have to wait for hot water.
I'm a magician.
No idea that stuff exists out there. And then inevitably, the question always came up after the fact was, how much?
Right.
And I would throw out some wild numbers because I don't know your system. And I'd throw out some, make sure it was high, but not astronomically high. And inevitably, 75% of them right away was, really? That's it? So when I threw a number out there, not just for the product, but also for you guys to do the install, they said, really, that's it. So just remember that. They don't know this stuff exists out there. Make sure you bring it up to them. You're in their house for doing something. Yeah, they don't want you to do anything today because you're there to fix something already, but ask them, do you wait for hot water? I can fix that.
Yeah.
And then every time they wash their hands in cold water, they mentally curse you out. Because damn it, I gotta call it. So just remember those kind of things, man. Just remember it. It's one of those unsung things that we can do that we have a lot of control over.
There's more opportunity out there than we realize. Like I said, I get so many people will say, I've talked to contractors, they'll say to me, well, I don't get much call for that. Nobody really asks for it. Nobody asks for a heart transplant, right? Nobody asks to have their gallbladder removed. Nobody asks to have, an impacted wisdom tooth taken out, but they have to do it, and they pay for it. It's,
we could have some. Sorry, go ahead.
What?
Nope,
I'm sorry.
I'm reading.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry for having.
I'm just reading some great comments from guys.
Yeah.
Here, so, yeah.
I never quite understood that. Well, nobody around here asks for it. I never understood that as a rationale for not, offering solutions to problems that people may don't even realize that they have. No one's going to ask for anything if you think about it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want that. I don't know that I don't. If you don't know what you don't know, right? We learned it very vividly today, which is why today was so stressful. We learned that we don't know what we don't know. And same thing with your customers. Never presume anything for them, and never, well, they ask for it, I'll give it to them. That's you saying I ain't gonna do it. Anyway. So you had something.
Oh yeah, no, I'm expanding on our North American vacation.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to start off with the station wagon, and then we have to switch over to the Bluesmobile.
Okay.
Then we got to get the van from Cheech and Chong. Wait, I'm not done yet.
Oh yes, you are.
And then the van from Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Birdline van.
Then you guys, that's just you guys. I'm out of that one.
I'll be your road dog on that trip, dude.
I was thinking more the mystery machine.
We can add that too.
Yeah.
One for every day.
Yeah.
There's got to be a
From-
famous RV in there somewhere too. What am I thinking?
Oh,
of?
Spaceballs.
No.
Spaceballs, yes.
Spaceballs. I'm thinking the urban assault vehicle from Stripes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Bill Murray.
There you go.
Bill
We got to
Murray.
pick.
It's like going to Wisconsin. We're in, we're out. Hey.
Oh, if we could do that for a week across the United States.
It would take more than a week.
Oh, great.
we could get, in a week, if we stop every day and did a training class, we get to Pittsburgh in a week.
All right,
Yeah.
we're the Millers.
Yeah, we're the
Yes,
Millers.
yep.
That's right.
No,
What a great
no,
one.
get that idea out of your head
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that could be a
No,
fun trip,
no
dude.
regrets, right?
Yeah, we could, yep. All right, J-Dog and I on the road.
Oh.
We'll leave you home, John.
Oh,
We
God,
got
I'm getting too old for this shit.
We Oh, that was awesome. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You know,
just really-
little round table we haven't done in a while either, so, which was good.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
Nice little chat here tonight, so.
Good season.
Yes, everybody.
Hey, thanks for having
Good
me,
season,
guys.
man.
J-Man.
And
All right, everybody out there. Thanks for joining us
School's
for
out for
another
summer.
edition of
School's out forever.
Good night,
Good
y'all.
night.
Have a great one. See you guys soon.
Ta-ta, people. Woo-hoo.